what's up, how's it hanging? How's it happen? You guys know this is Kevin from the Chord Progression Podcast. The podcast on Some Magazine describes as the one that initiates profound discussions with rock and metal artists, allowing fans to cover the creative workflow of the famed musicians and understand the factors that make the band succeed or fall from fame. We are all sponsored by Dark Fusion Systems, the best for your custom computing needs. Get $100 off your entire build code CPPod at darkfusions.com. Link is in the description of the podcast below. No, I kind of messed it up, but now let's go to our feature presentation. Oh yeah, hardcore music is it, baby. And we got another great band coming for you today. We have Lukas and Eugen from the German band Throatcut with a brand new album, their debut album, Resiliance, coming out on July 18th. We not only talk about how they just created this album by themselves, no producers, and why they decided to go down that road as well. Why just living in this pissed off state and amplifying that and always writing in that mindset allowed them to really create a lot of the songs on this record. We even dive into the political anger on the song Snake Eater and just how great this band ended up becoming by letting all of that flow and not putting any restrictions on themselves. You guys ready? Let's go! Oh yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of the Chord Progression Podcast. We've been bringing some heavier bands onto the podcast because, let's just be honest, heavy music is the absolute shit. Last year, we had Alpha Wolf on. This year, we had a Mugshot on. And after this episode releases, you're going to see one with Fox Lake as well. And these bands are creating some incredible music. And this band is not, messing with that trend. They have a brand new album called Resilience coming out on July 18th. And if you listen to the music, this is literally like if you took Alpha Wolf, Fox Lake, mixed it all together, made it German, and made it awesome. So let me be honest with you. You should be listening to this, especially in the gym, whether you just want to get angry, aggressive, or if you want to go absolutely ape crazy in the pit, this is the band for you. So please welcome Lukas and Eugen from Throatcut to the podcast. So gentlemen, welcome to the Chord Progression Podcast.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Thanks for being on, guys.
What an introduction, mate. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us, mate.
Hey, I got to go crazy with the introduction. If I don't do that, then clearly I'm not doing my job right.
Yes.
So we're getting really close to, of course, the album release. It's right about to hit. You guys about to release your debut LP. How is everything going on your guys, and how are you feeling coming up to this release?
I'd say it's going great, actually. I think we're a bit nervous to put it all out there, but the last few months, the reception of the singles and stuff has been great so far. So we're really looking forward to it.
I understand where the nerves would come in, especially releasing, your first album. But at the same time, after listening through it, I really don't understand where those nerves are coming from, given how good this thing actually is.
Dude, yeah, we've been sitting on these songs like for ages now, and we're like also over that point where we don't even know, are these good or no, not good. So we just like, hell yeah, we just gonna abandon those songs and move on, and we'll see what the people are gonna say about it.
I've got a feeling that people are going to absolutely lose their mind over this. Of course, there's been a number of singles that have already been released on this album. And after listening through them, I still remember the other day I was over at my buddy's house and I'm like, yo, you got to check out this band Throatcut. The first song I show him, he's like, dude, I think I may have sent you this song in the past. I don't remember, but all I know is this is really, really good. And I'm like, yeah, keep this rolling, keep this going. And then we got through all the singles and he's like, man, I wish there was more. And I just smiled. I'm like, oh, I know there's more. He's like, can we listen to it? I said, we will wait till July 18th. I'm like, I'm going to keep this one for myself.
Nice.
Got to leave some breadcrumbs there. Yeah, you just got to leave little breadcrumbs there for them to, like, oh, I still want more, but there's going to be more. There's going to be some great stuff here. And I just can't wait to see what happens upon release day, to be honest with you. There's going to be a lot of times where I always see like release radar of like, oh, this band came out with something, or here's a list of all the bands coming out with new albums. I've got a feeling it'll be like Throatcut will be on like the first or second tweet of that. But then all of a sudden you're just going to see like Alan Harrington of the Red Harrington on Twitter will be like album of the year or album of the month for July. Like who's going to get the top spot? And it's going to be Throatcut. It's going to be.
Well, let's wait and see. It would be really nice.
I know. I'm just predicting it right now, but I want to get to know more about you guys. I want to get everybody to know more about you guys. I was trying to find as much about the history as possible, and there really isn't anything I could find out in the band from the origins to where we are today. So I want to know the origin story of Throatcut. How'd you guys get to this point here today? How'd you start? All that good stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
how did we
basically
start?
it started already a couple of years back. We had a different band together where we just stopped making music because we were like basically made more or less like forced into one scheme, and we didn't like it. And so we started to break out and to do our own shit, to develop our own sound. And yeah, then we were like three-piece first. So the singer, myself, the guitarist, and Lukas, the drummer. And then we were like, we need a fourth guy who can maybe also scream or something like that, because we need some more pissed vocals. And we knew a guy around here. His name is Rafa, and we hit him up. We were like, dude, you want to start a band? I was like, hell yes, dude, let's go. So yes, he's playing bass now. We did all the recordings together. We did all the songwriting together, and now we're like, we basically are like super fresh together. We came out on, I don't know, maybe November 24th. October 24th.
Yep.
So yeah, we're super fresh. We didn't have much time to get out there, basically.
Yeah, but so in general, I think Eugen, we are making music since almost 10 years together now.
Yeah.
So we've known each other for a long time.
And by knowing each other for a long time, too, when it comes to getting that chemistry going in terms of writing music, just playing music together, making the best possible music you can, that's something that is invaluable that so many artists always are looking for, so many bands are always looking for. And the ones that end up really gaining a lot of traction are the ones that have that sort of chemistry. It can come naturally, can come over time, but the fact that it came for you guys and have been continuing making music before Throatcut for, 10 years, and now here's Throatcut, you guys bring in some pissed off anger, some pissed off vocals, and it just amplifies, especially from where my perspective is, in a sound right now where it is fresh. It is something that so many people are getting into, but there is so much space, especially in the hardcore style, that you can bring in so many different pieces, so many different ideas, and it's just going to end up having not only people latch onto it, but it's like the early days of, metalcore, the early days of the Warped Tour scene, the early days of Risecore, or what recently has been happening too, especially more on the popular metal side of things with Bring Me the Horizon, Bad Omen, Spirit Box, throw Electric Callboy in there. There's the ability to create so much and just try so many different things, but you're not really treading on anybody else's like territory. You're creating your own path here. And I love seeing it happen, especially in the heavier music side, especially in the hardcore music side. And you guys are definitely on that, and the chemistry shows.
Dude, this is what music is all about, right? Like, this is like creating your own vision, like putting it on a blank canvas and like doing just what you want to do. Like since we also produce everything by ourselves, we record everything by ourselves. So we're basically like shape the sound from the beginning until the end. The idea is only we together, like banging out some songs together. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's also like that's the thing, we wanted to be free basically and be like a true version of yourself, and just to do whatever you want. So we don't try to force into like one specific direction, but make it a bit more broad, like the things we just want to do, and then we just do them.
And I think that also allows you to, when you're producing your own sound, it allows you to do that, because while I've heard so many people talk about when it comes to working with producers where they have different ideas and where they just see different things that might amplify the sound you're working on, that's fantastic as well. But then you also potentially have another person's opinion in there that can impact your music and impact your sound in a way that maybe you don't want to. It's, of course, a positive and a negative on anything. You take the risk for the reward. So by you guys producing your own music, no one's telling you what to do. No one's telling you maybe try this or trying to push something on you. You're just letting it flow from wherever you guys are hearing this, where you guys are feeling this, and this is the style that comes out. And because you guys have been making music for so long, I assume that at times you may have worked with producers in the past, and now that you are producing your own music fully here, do you find that to potentially be more difficult in terms of creating specific sounds that you want? Or is it something that just comes fully natural for all of you so that you create the sound that you want and this is what we get as the final product?
That's a tough question.
Mm-hmm.
I think it has like you say, it's there's so much positive about like bringing a new person into the songwriting, but there's also like a negative side. But since I think it's basically like when you vibe with somebody, then it doesn't matter like if he's a producer or he's whatever, like recording engineer or whatever. If this guy's like saying, "Oh, try this," and it's banging the right idea in our heads, and we'll be like, "Oh yes, let's go, let's try it out." So in music, you basically like, in my opinion, you always like have to be open for everything. Like when you're not open and you don't receive whatever it is, you will never give, right?
Mhm.
You will never fill out the canvas in front of you. Yeah.
Yeah, also sometimes when you're all just by yourself, it's maybe kind of an echo chamber where we all have kind of same idea. And sometimes a bit input from the outside is good, but I generally like it that we do everything by ourselves.
That's just a great way to take a look at it from both pieces, from anybody that might be listening or anybody that might be making music or want to get to this point in time as well, where you're seeing the positives and maybe drawbacks of working with a producer, but you're seeing the positives and drawbacks of potentially doing this on your own. And that's a thing that I think a lot of artists, especially not only the bigger ones, but the ones that are up and coming, need to understand. It's something that's great to be able to say you work with a producer or you work with another person, but you got to make sure that that person is maybe on the same page as you. You got to make sure that that other person is going to be invested in it the same way that you are invested in the sound, the same way that you are.
Yep.
Because if they're not, then the sound's going to end up taking a different direction and you're not going to associate it with it nearly as much as you probably should. And if you're not associating with the music, and because it is your art, it's your creation, now you're much more drawn back from it. You're not as into it. You're going to go out and play these songs live and there's going to be a piece missing from it. And that's not something that we want as fans. And I know that's something that you do not want to have as an artist.
Yeah,
yes,
sure.
I think the best of a producer comes out if you have a really, really clear vision about what you want to achieve. And then someone else is just like sprinkling salt on top. So to bring it forward.
That's another good way to put it too, because you never know what might happen over the next couple of years. Maybe next 5-10 years, you might create a record and you want to bring in a producer, but because you have the vision so well, explained, so well derived, so well figured out, you absolutely just bring in and say, hey, this is what we're doing. This is what we're looking for. And that producer just says, great, this is perfect. I know what to do. Let me just sprinkle this on top of there so that this vision is brought out a little bit further. So who knows, maybe for the second or third Throatcut record, you guys end up traveling to the US, end up going to the state of Michigan and working on this album and having it produced by Landon Tours with a plot in you. The number of bands I've had on the podcast that have been produced by him is nuts. And the quality of the music is nuts. So that might be an idea for you guys if you're looking for a producer.
He's crazy. Love what this guy is doing. Like it's amazing. But there are so many people out there, right? We live like in I think like in such a modern society where like everything what we can record, we can stay at home. We can shape the sound in our apartment, right? And then we can meet up in a really good rehearsing space or maybe like a studio or whatever, and then bang those demos that you did at home, like in a really good environment, and then you can like bring the level of the a raw aggression in your apartment, like into this really modern sounding and refined sound, and it's amazing. That's why so many bands, in my opinion as well, that's why so many bands right now are coming like with their super unique sounds. Basically, I don't know. I don't know if you ever like listen to Unity TX or something like that, or Knocked Loose, the same. That there's such a unique sound, dude, and it's so amazing to hear, because I don't want to have like to go over my Spotify playlist and then listen to like a cookie cutter mixing and the style again all the same. I need all those different shapes. I need all those different things that the unique style of this band or this artist is like showing me, and I love it. I really love it. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think that's also what inspires you about music. If there's new stuff or new ideas and you think, oh, okay, that's something I haven't thought about. It's like just new input for yourself instead of just the same every day.
And that's also maybe a like bright side of what happened during the pandemic, because once the pandemic hit, of course, everyone's in their homes, everyone's in lockdown. If you're creating music, you have to create it in your own space. You're not able to go out and, record with other people, or if you are able to, you have to do it in the most sneaky kind of way, especially back in 2020, early 2021. And I think about some of the bands too, especially, and on the heavier side of things, the hardcore side of things. I'm thinking about like Knocked Loose. I mean, Knocked Loose definitely had their own sound, especially on, Different Shade of Blue. But in 2021, when they released A Tear in the Fabric of Life, it amplified that to a completely different degree. When Alpha Wolf released their album in 2020, now that brought a whole different light into it. Kubla Khan, Throne, even Counterparts still, Mugshot, you guys, Fox Lake, Big Ass Truck. There's so many different. I listen to these bands on a playlist consistently, especially when working out. I did it this morning too, and yeah, it's heavy, it's aggressive. But the great thing is once these songs starts, it's like I can already tell what artist this is, because the aggression is unique in each and individual spot. So when I listen to songs, I'm like, oh yeah, this is Mugshot. Oh yeah, this is Alpha. Oh yeah, that's Knocked Loose. Arf, arf. Let's have a great time. But by being able to create that sound, especially in the beginning, from your own home and from your own space, you're allowing yourself to let that creativity fly and just let your influences take over. So when you get to the time where it's maybe working with a producer or producing these things, you have that unique aggression there. Yes. I think that's something we're going to see continue happening, because my God, it just keeps working. And why mess with something if, it continues to work? Don't fix it if it ain't broken.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then this is where we get with Throatcut, where it's just like, you got to be kidding me. How the heck did you guys do this? Because it is... Oh man, it was. I remember when I got the press release for like, hey, check out this new band Throatcut. I played one song and immediately went to Adam Slater PR, and I'm like, yeah. Once you guys start scheduling them out, include me, please, because this is awesome.
Yeah, dude. But
I like it.
It's always like such a unique process. Like you mentioned the second or third album. I hope that we will be once able to travel also America. Would be amazing. It's such a dream of ours for sure. But it's always such a different approach. Like you're always developing your whatever it is. Whether it's the sound, whether it's the how you songwrite, whether what you do, whatever you have to do to create something, right? And you're always on your toes, I think, and it's such a fun experience, or like being with the boys basically and hanging out and doing like stupid heavy shit. It's amazing. We love it.
I think that might be the perfect way to describe the chemistry you guys have. We just love doing stupid, heavy shit. And you're letting the influences that you have within yourself just flow freely from these songs and into these songs as well. And going forward, too, you get to album 2, album 3. I have no idea where the influence and the inspiration is going to come from. But you have the best idea behind it, too, where it's let it happen. Just let the creativity go and see where you want to go with this. Because at that point in time, you're not going to put your sound into, a specific box. You're not going to limit yourselves. You're going to let it fly and let it fully create. Will you get some blowback initially from that? Absolutely. But if you continue to do that and you continue to hone in on your craft, it's going to be something where you're going to get to a point where you're going to have all those people coming for you that love album number 1, that love album 3, that love album 5. If bands don't continue to explore their creativity and evolve, they rarely get anywhere. Do you think Bring Me the Horizon would be as big as they are if they didn't explore their creativity and just left their first 2 albums as is? Like, you listen to, Pray for Plagues. It's definitely different than Shadow Moses, which is different than anything they came out with last year. But that flow, the inspiration, it sounds still like them, and you can fully get into it. Bad Omens, Sleep Token creating their own sound as well. There's so many options you can go for. But as you guys continue to grow, I know you're going to continue to explore that creativity, and that's where the gold is going to happen with Throatcut.
Yes, mate. That's the goal for sure.
Yeah, that's the mission. Yeah.
Well, you guys definitely started out strong on Resiliance which coming out on July 18th, and diving into this album as well specifically. You already talked a little bit about how you guys had gone through the creation process, producing it yourself, just letting creativity flow. Give us a little bit more of the insight. What was this creation process for this album like, and for these songs like?
So we used to earlier just jam songs in the practice space, but this time we wanted to be to do a more structured approach. I'd say it like this. So we got Rafa on board, as Eugen said earlier, and then we took some time, produced some demos at home, and then I think 3 weeks after we went into a band vacation basically, where we rented out a house in the middle of nowhere at a lake, and then we just were there for a week without sleeping, just getting ideas in, recording stuff, producing, also hanging out because we got a new team member basically, so there's also a bit of bonding in there. And then we took this stuff then again, brought it back to the rehearsal space, played it, see how it felt when actually playing, and then we just kept going from there until we were done. That's basically it.
That's not a bad way to go about it, especially being able to sit out, at a house at a lake, isolated from everything and not sleeping too, because you think about sitting out at a lake, which, that's where I'm at right now. I'm looking out the lake. I'm like, this is really nice. This is really calm and peaceful. But if you're not sleeping for a whole entire week, that aggression's going to come in there from the lack of sleep. And then you're going to get the anger that's going to match up on there. The only thing that could have been better would have been, after everything was all said on the last day, okay, we're all wrapped up. Let's go out on the lake. Let's get a boat and let's tie an inner tube to the back, and whoever was the most angry is going to be the driver, because they're going to try and throw everybody off that tube. And you never know, you might make a song about dragging a tube behind a boat and trying to throw your friends off because you're just so damn mad at them.
Yeah, that's like the only place in the world where you can get woken up by your vocalist at 4 a.m. It's like, dude, I have an idea, we have to record it. So, and then you can just do it. Also, I don't know, we sampled some sounds from the house itself, in the staircase we did something, there was a piano we took into it. So we just had a good time basically.
And that's when you get those albums that come out that are just absolutely, fantastic in terms of quality, because you're just letting the creativity flow, but you're in a space where it's all allowed and you're not putting any, expectations on things. If your vocalist wakes up at 4 a.m. because he has an idea and you run with it, that's the perfect time to go for it. I still remember listening, I think it was to the Joe Rogan podcast, of course, because when he's doing his comedy bits, if he gets an idea for something in the middle of the night, it's like, oh, I love this idea. I'll, do this in the morning. I'll start working on it. But then when you wake up in the morning, it's completely gone. At that moment, you can just go with it and let it flow. And then you don't miss out on that emotion. You don't miss out on that idea. And you let it fully flesh out because you're in the space to do it. So yeah, for the next record, keep thinking about doing that. Even if it means bringing a producer into a lake house, just bring him into a lake house and let it fly.
Yes, mate. Yeah, basically the album Resilience is full with things that pissed us off. So basically it's always like a theme we're writing about, and this is basically like a therapy session. Sometimes banging these songs because there's so much anger and so much frustration in there sometimes with ourselves. Sometimes it's basically like what is going on inside of us, inside of our brains, because we're all humans.
Mhm.
We all have our things that we carry around. But sometimes these things, there are things that you can't do anything about it. They are just here because there are stupid humans out there. And yeah, you can sometimes it pisses us off as well. And so we basically like to say, if the creativity strikes, you can say like, yeah, I'm gonna wait for that. I'm gonna be pissed in 5 hours again. No, you have to do it right now.
Well, that's the other reason why I love
Emotions
this.
are gonna go away.
I'll say that's the reason why I love listening to this kind of music, especially while working out, because it just puts you in that mindset right away. And you're just like, I gotta lift this shit. I don't give a fuck. Here we go. But you're making a great point too. When you, especially in the world today, there are so many things, whether it's internal, external, out there, as a society or just in your own personal life, that are gonna piss you off. It's the way social media is, the way that the 24-hour news cycle is. It seems like no matter what, you turn on the TV, you open your phone, there's going to be something that makes you mad within at least 10 seconds. And by capitalizing on that anger and that energy and putting it into this record, you create that feeling of having that pissed off feel, but it comes from such a genuine place because you heard it, you felt it, and you just decided to jump and make a song right then and there. You didn't wait to try and recreate that moment. You just went for it. And that's the beauty of being able to make music in a space that, you can wake up at 4 a.m, be pissed off, and write a song.
Yeah, also I think that's a great way to deal with those things, also personally, because if you're thinking, okay, there's like this topic which pisses me off, I'm gonna write a song about it, then you're thinking about, okay, what's actually pissing you off about it, or what's the thing that's getting on your nerves, and then you try also to process it for yourself and you face it. And I think that's, for me at least, that was actually the most beneficial thing when writing this album.
Well, it's very similar too, if we've heard so many artists especially create songs that it's like, oh, I loved her and I lost her, about breakup music. They're writing that in the middle of that because their mindset and their headspace is fully in there. It's fully in that emotion. It's fully connecting to it. So they're going to be able to explore that idea even further than by trying to recreate it maybe a year later. When it comes to this side of anger, when it comes to what's pissing you off, you're doing the exact same thing. You're picking it up at that point in time, so you're not having to recreate it, which by recreating it, you're only able to go so deep. When you're already in it, you're able to go deeper than what's previously thought. That's where the artistic beauty comes from this, because you are already so ingrained in it, but it's without trying to force it. You're just naturally letting it happen. If you want to force it, that's what allows you to go even deeper than if you're able to think about this while you're just, if I'm sitting out at a lake and just looking out of the water, I'm like, this is calm. Let me think about what pisses me off. It's not going to be as good as me in the gym lifting stuff and listening to hardcore music and just being in that headspace.
Yeah, for sure. Also, that's, I think, the only way you can truly be authentic about the music you create. It's if you're in that moment and writing in that moment.
Oh, absolutely. So when it came to writing some of these songs and what really pissed you off, what were some of those topics that were really pissing you off, really getting that anger going, that led to the songs that were created on this album?
Well, I think the first song we released, which was Snake Eater, was something which we all agreed on that we have to talk about. It's like basically, let's say, world leaders or people in power taking advantage of anyone and fighting wars which are totally senseless, and the only one who is suffering is basically the civilian population, no matter which side you're on, because in the end that doesn't matter, because war is a war. I think that's one we wrote really, really fast. But then again, there are also songs about personal loss on there, which is of course also a heavy topic, or things some of us deal individually, which we talked about it, and then there was like a thing where we said, hey, this might be an idea of a song, do you want to pursue it? And then he said yeah, and then we just started creating together and also maybe to express the feelings of the member. which he couldn't by himself at the moment in time.
I'll say that's where the band chemistry comes in, where you're able to connect with somebody that's not able to express that fully. And I like the fact that you guys not only looked internally, but of course externally as well. Snake Eater being the perfect example of that. Of course, you said talking about the world leaders, politicians, war, and how war ends up impacting the civilian population more than any of those, politicians that are actually in power. If you look throughout history, it's always the civilian population that ends up being the one that is the most devastated and then ends up having to foot the bill for everything after the war is over, when it comes to rebuilding, when it comes to having to rebuild your lives, everything around that. And I like the fact that especially you jump right into it in that song with a quote that's saying this election was a fraud. And I'm thinking, when it comes to the US, I mean, anybody that voted in 2020 and went through that election process, we heard that so many times. So bringing that forward, especially for us in the US, you're putting us right into the aggression of this album, and then closing it out with the Pledge of Allegiance to in the US. I'm just sitting here thinking, what were these guys thinking? Did they come to America and write this thing? I don't know, but god damn, is this good?
We didn't think, we just did. We just do. If sometimes if you're pissed off, then you just do things that sometimes you regret, but sometimes you don't. And in this situation, we don't regret anything, because we have the same opinion, because we flipped the coin so many times, because so much more often than not, the conflicts are always like very old, and these two sides are like so against each other because of a 100-year-old tradition to hating or whatever. But in this case, it's such a there's nothing to get wrong. So we're super happy about that intro. We like it.
I mean, that intro was the thing that brought me to this album right away. Just from hearing that, it's, okay, this is definitely going to have some sort of that aggression to it. And then building on from that, it just keeps growing and growing and growing. Cracking sweeps in the guitar just to amplify some of that aggression that's in there. Even some of these songs having some of that like potential turntable sound. They're bringing like this new metal, new hardcore feel to it. Mm-hmm. But again, it's fresh. It keeps it flowing. And by what you just said, Eugene, where it's, we just did this. It wasn't we were thinking about this. We weren't playing this out. We just did. It's like, the quote in The Dark Knight with the Joker, where it's like, I'm like a dog chasing cars. I wouldn't know what to do with one if I just caught it. I just do things. You guys just did things, and this was the result. You just let your inhibitions fly to the wind. And even with this song kind of going, especially with the elections of fraud and then the Pledge of Allegiance at the end, it takes a lot of jabs at the U.S., especially for us in the U.S. It allows us to think about the aggression, the pissed off places that come from focusing so heavily on the politics, the identity politics that happen in America today, and just how it vastly divides us into fighting amongst ourselves when, it's like, okay, we have to think about this. Who's really the problem here? Is it the people that we're divided against, or is it the people that are actually dividing us at that point in time? And that's not something that's just a U.S. thing too. That's all across the world in any political, construct that you look at in any country.
Yes, dude. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like, if you have the resources to divide a whole population, then and you want whatever you want in the end, and you'll get to your point. Then the people, they just do it. They are so corrupted. They don't give a fuck about. Am I allowed to swear?
Fuck yeah, you are.
They don't give a fuck about any out there who maybe like also vote for them. They just don't give a fuck. And that's if you get pissed about like hearing the intro. If somebody gets pissed about hearing the intro of Snake Eater, I'm really sorry for that, but maybe you need to rethink something. I don't know. It's basically like the people who are who are in the civilian population, they get the shit, and not the people who should get the shit. If you understand what I mean, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I
I think
understand.
if you get angry about it, you should ask yourself maybe why, and why is the song putting a mirror in front of me, and why does this make me angry? So
Yeah.
maybe that's the point.
Yeah, because when I heard it, I'm just like, oh shit, here we go, and I'm getting a better understanding of it as the song is going on. But if it is making you angry, it makes you think of, again, are you angry? Why are you angry at this other side? What's causing you to be angry by it? And is it something where it's just the divide that is happening? Because if you're divided as a group of people, whoever's in power is gonna have a lot easier time controlling a divided group than a unified group. Beyond that, though, like you just said, Eugene, it's all about, at that point in time, votes. It's these, people in politics, they want your vote so that they can stay in power. They're just trying to pander you so that when it comes to election day, you put your vote in, or you put your checkbox next to their name, and then that's it. They'll forget about you after that.
Yes.
So it's kind of like looking at Snake Eater too. It's, we want to kill, we want to be, not, we basically want to remove the snakes from everything that's in there. We want to remove the evil that's everything that's in there. And when it comes to politics, it seems like a huge reset is going to be needed to happen. It's like, okay, let's pull everybody out. Let's put people in there. And, it's going to be something that's not going to be perfect. It's going to be a thing that always happens over time. If we've reviewed history over the course of time, there's always going to be, whether you have a perfect political system, the perfect people, that are running the government, over time, it's going to end up becoming corrupt. It's going to end up becoming something that is a lot further away from the initial idea that you had. So what do you got to do? You got to take it back to the beginning, remove all that stuff. And then as it gets closer to that corrupt point again, just keep that cycle going so you can always get back to square one and really build up what's best for the people that are here in the world, because we only get one of these. We only get one world. I mean, let's not mess it up. Let's not fuck this up, guys. And let's bring the anger to it now so we don't fuck this up. Let's go!
Yeah, I can. Yes.
Well, I do have another question that's around the album beyond, maybe getting into Sneak Eater and the whole entire political side of things, because I'll be honest with you, out of all the songs that are on here, they all kick ass. Snake Eater, though, personal favorite of mine. And at the time of recording, I went through and I'm like, there are 7 of 11 songs already out as singles. And of course, we can all go and listen to them right now. But on release day, we're going to be waiting for those unreleased songs. Now, I'm going to take the singles out of this because we can all hear them. But instead of asking you out of those unreleased songs, which one is your favorite, I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to ask you guys is, out of those 4 unreleased songs that'll come out on release day, which is the song that you guys are most excited for people to hear and why?
Oh, that's interesting. First, let me think about the songs that are not released yet, because I don't know.
I'll say
I know too. I for sure am really excited about it's basically a focus track, because we're bringing out the album with a track, and there will be a video also coming with this album, and the video is amazing. We did such a huge thing around it. We were able to get some resources together and to build the idea from this, only the song, to basically a whole world, to create everything around it, because there's if I listen to a song, there's a certain maybe a story or maybe a meaning from a song. But if I see a video, then you can just tell so much more. And that's what we did basically with the focus track as well. I'm really excited about to see how people are gonna react to that, because the song is also like I said before. If we are writing, we don't have like schemes. We don't say, oh, this is like too new metal, or oh no, this is too techy. We just don't give a fuck. We just do whatever we like to. And this song is also a little bit darker, I would say. it's more techy, I would say, as well, but also some parts that they just really hit super hard, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, I'm also, that's also the song I'm stoked about. It's called Throatcut actually. It was a working title, and then we just kept it because we felt like it fit. And like Eugen said, we took a lot of time to work on the video, which basically Eugen developed all by himself, more or less. And we then had the opportunity to be at the house of the grandmother of my girlfriend. And we were there with like 20 people for 3 straight days and filmed this insane video, which is basically a movie. So we took Midsummer, if you know it, the movie, and basically turned it into a music video for us, or some ideas of that.
Took Midsummer, turned a music video for yourselves, and created the focus track on it that goes in so many different directions. And the name of the track as a working title ended up being the name of the band. Now, if you're going to put out a focus track for your first album and that track ends up being the name of the band, this is Throatcut by Throatcut. It's like, what was it on the album Throatcut? No, it's on Resilience. Come on. You think they're going to... It'd been hysterical if it was the song Throatcut on the album Throatcut by the band Throatcut. You never know. If you guys end up releasing a self-titled album in the future, it could be called Throatcut 2, or Part 2 Electric Boogaloo, and boom, now you have it.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
I'd be more intrigued to see exactly what you guys would come up with for a track like that. But of course, that is definitely in the future. But the best part about this album is it shows so much from the heavy pissed off side that you guys have. It shows what I like to see, especially in a debut album, is a lot of range, but not all the range. What I mean by that is it shows so much more of what you guys are able to do, so much more of the ideas you guys are able to, show, but it leaves us wanting more in terms of, okay, how much more of this techie side can they explore, especially in the heavier side? How much more pissed off can they get? What can they do with pace? What can they do with more of a melodic style? What can they do with those melodies? It shows a lot of range, but it shows that there is so much more yet to be explored by Throatcut, especially in the heavy music scene. And you never know where it's going to go, but all you got to do is go along for the ride, because this is going to be a good time.
Yes.
Yeah, we're not. It's basically like we could be a one-trick pony and do all the like Snake Eater 10 times across the album, but we were like, no, we're not like that. It's not authentic enough. That's not who we are, basically. And we were like, yeah, we're gonna just do whatever we want to. And we're so happy that the people from our label, A Rising Empire, they're like, yeah, you do you, and we will see how it's gonna turn out, and that's awesome. We love it.
Yeah, they understood it, and that's great. And also, we're also looking forward to exploring what's possible, because now, as we're short for the release, the fingers are itching to create something new, and we're also thinking about, okay, what can we do next? Because like we formed completely new before writing this album, so we were kind of exploring our sound and trying to find it, and I think now we did. So we're gonna dive deeper into that, and but all options are open.
It allows you to expand even further as well. And here's where I'm going with that piece about it, because if you continue to expand further on your sound, and you guys are already thinking about it now before album 1 completely drops, at that point in time, you're just letting it happen. You're not trying to force it. We got to already come out with another record. We've been working on these songs for a while. These songs are coming out, they've been coming out since November 2024. And we got other ideas we want to explore. We got other things we want to try. So why don't we think about them now? Why don't we see what's maybe pissing us off? What's maybe making us happy? What can we put on a record? You never know. But the fact that A Rising Empire 2 has fully been behind this, it shows a lot of promise, a lot of progress, and a lot of trust from the label that you're not only going to continue to make great music, but you guys are going to continue to hit with so many other people once this album drops as well. Plus, they have a good track record, not only releasing music with certain artists, but at the same time, the last time they released a hardcore album last year, that band ended up headlining the U.S., a couple months after the release of that album. So who knows, when Throne comes back, all of a sudden I might see Throatcut as support, and I'll be like, my God.
It would be crazy, yeah.
I'll be like, everybody, we're going to go, and it'll be a whole discography show, and between the two bands, you guys will play for probably about an hour and 15 minutes if it's the full discography for both bands.
Probably, yes.
Oh, but it would be an absolute manic time. Trust me, it would be nuts. Hopefully, last time I saw a couple of, the heavier bands, hardcore bands, the amount of things I saw thrown in the middle of the pit just being tossed around was a good time. A couple of trash cans, of course, bodies.
Them like a few weeks ago, and I was like, yeah, I can see myself up there with them. So.
When you guys come, I got to do what my friends and I did. This would have been 2 years ago now. Motionless in White was headlining a tour. They had Knocked Loose, After the Burial, and Alpha Wolf on that run. Now this is just I'm like take out Motionless in White. I'm good with just the other three.
Exactly.
We were so amped up by the time Knocked Loose went on. We all had an idea, and we snuck in as many like inflatable hammers, swords, just like random things. And we blew them up before Knocked Loose went on. Here comes Knocked Loose. The whole floor is open, and all the hardcore kids are hardcore dancing. And a lot of us that just wanted to mosh and go nuts and just like hit people, we had all the hammers and shit. We were just hitting people. We threw them at the hardcore kids, and everyone thought it was hysterical. And I'm like, you know what? We need to do that here, or we need to go full on. What this band in America called Belushi Speedball does is they just throw as much random crap in the middle of the pit before their set. Now, we need to do that for Throatcut. Just throw as much in there, pool toys, other inflatable things. I saw, Pokemon cards get thrown in there. I saw a whole like tote bin, Nerf guns get thrown in there. A bunch of old like training manuals from different businesses got thrown in there. We're just going to create a whole entire party at the end of it. All we ask is just give us some trash bags. We'll help you guys clean up.
Yeah. We already thought about bringing pool noodles to shows and just throwing it in.
Do it. It's hysterical because then you just start to see people in the pit just go nuts, and you see these little noodles flying all over the place. People hitting each other with them. They're jumping all over, and it's just it creates a time that people don't forget. It creates a moment that even if you're not all into like going to the pit and going nuts, but you just want to watch the show, it's like, where the heck did those pool noodles come from? But I'm enjoying it every step of the way, so let's keep it having a fun time.
Yeah, of course.
Well, of course, with the album coming out on July 18th, there's still a whole part of 2025 left to go. So for you guys, throughout the rest of 2025, what's in store? What can we expect from Throatcut?
A few shows for certain. We're lucky enough to play this year's Summer Breeze. If you know it, it's like a huge festival here in southern Germany. And it was also a bucket list thing for us. And the fact that we just did it in our first year is insane. So after that, we're also going to play in the Netherlands with our boys from Sugar Spine, which we met online basically. And we're also really looking forward to that. And then, I don't know, there are some things in talks right now, but I'm not sure if it's going to happen or not. But we were like surprised by nearly everything that happened to us, so we don't really know. Let's just keep the eyes open.
Next week we're gonna play with Currents, but as soon as this episode will come out, I think that will be history already. But we're really looking forward to that because like Currents is one of the bands like we were listening to back in the day and still today, and we're playing with them in Karlsruhe. It's basically like 1.5 hours away from our home. So that's awesome. We really looking forward to that as well. It's awesome.
Well, I'll say, unfortunately, I have not had Currents on the podcast, but I had to look at my line. I'm like, I know I've had Sugar Spine on. I've had him on twice, so it just absolutely fits. Yeah, I had him on in 2022 and at the end of 2023, so I might have to bring him back on for another go around and be like, so what was it like playing with Throatcut? that's really what I wanted to ask you guys.
Yeah.
Did the pool noodles happen?
After September.
Hey, I can make it happen. I just got to make it. I'll say I have to make a call, but more like I have to make an Instagram DM and we'll set it from there. But I'm really excited to see what else you guys have going on, what's in the works. Of course, I'm not going to ask you to divulge that information because if it's in the works, if you start talking about it, it might send it on a different path, and we don't want it being sent on the wrong path. So I'm hoping for it. I'm hoping for, a European-wide tour for you guys to be able to go out on. I'm hoping for you guys to come over to the U.S. possibly in 2026 to bring some of that heavy music with you guys. I mean, who knows? You could be opening for Counterparts, Alpha Wolf, Fox Lake. Maybe we just get an insane Knock Loose tour with Knock Loose, Kubla Khan, Alpha Wolf, Big Ass Truck, Fox Lake, Mugshot, Throatcut in there as well. I know I'm missing somebody, but it's just a Throne. Yeah, I'm missing Throne. There we go. So throw it all.
There will be no survivors on these shows, guy. Dude, you know that, right?
I do know that. There's going to be one survivor after the show, and it's going to be me. I don't go to the gym 6 times a week for nothing. I don't go MMA fighting with my buddy for nothing. I'm preparing for this moment. I came ready, man. I'm like SpongeBob. I'm ready. I'm ready for this show. Yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah, we what we can say for certain for sure is that we are gonna start now jamming again. We started to implement some routines in our rehearsing space where we like start to bang new songs. Maybe there will be coming something soon, maybe not, we'll see. But we're definitely looking forward to play a lot of live shows because that's where we see ourselves. Like we want to see the people, we want to play loud as hell, and we need to bring the to bring the earth to that it shakes, exactly, because we have like so many 808 parts, we have so many bass drops, dude, it's so much fun to play live. It's amazing.
Well, when you guys make it to the US, just let me know so that I can start investing in pool noodles.
Oh, yes, nice.
I'm gonna make a lot of money off of that, and then I'll just bring pool noodles too. I'll be like, yeah, we don't even have to bring out pool noodles for the show. Why? Kevin actually covered it.
Yeah, you can sell them by merch.
I won't even sell them. I'll just throw them out into the crowd. I mean, what's gonna be better than raining pool noodles during the set?
Yeah.
See, that's what we got to go
actually
for.
Do that.
Hey, do it. It's a great idea. But I got one more question for you guys before we wrap this up. It's one of my favorite questions to ask everybody I bring on this podcast. It's a way for me to get to know more music, the audience to get to know more music, and for you guys to promote the music that you enjoy. Now, I got to limit this to 3 total because could go overboard. But between the two of you, can you guys name me 3 bands or artists that you love that you would love to see more people get into right now?
Ooh.
Orthodox one. You know this band, Kevin?
I do know Orthodox. I get to see them on July 11th because they are headlining in a room of 275 people where the walls say dance at your own risk, and their direct support is Mugshot. So, yeah, I'm going.
You're going.
Yes, mate. They're amazing.
Yeah, artist I like currently is Bite Down, if you know him. I think they deserve way more than they actually do because the music is great. So that's one for certain.
All right, we got 2. We got 1 more to go.
One more. That's hard. I need to open my Spotify account.
Yeah, I also had to open it up.
Hey, everyone does that at some point in time when I ask this question. It is the norm.
What I really when we went to the Throne show a few weeks back, there were 3 bands before Throne, and the second band was Unity TX. Dude, when they played their first note, I was like, who the fuck is this guy? They ripped this place apart. It was amazing, like how the band like played, like the atmosphere, the vibe of the band. It was amazing, and I was like, holy shit, how did they play as a second band? I don't understand it, but it blew my mind. I was like, oh, holy crap! I need a few minutes to calm down.
Yeah, I can sign that. Also, they did what I thought was a really great idea, a girls only pit, where they made like a place for girls to mosh and go at it. And I thought like, hey, yeah, that's a great idea. I like it. So yeah, let's go with Unity TX on the third.
Unity TX is a great pick. Next, last time I saw Unity TX, it was at a festival, and it had rained tremendously the day before. So the next day, it was all mud. Let me just say this. It was a fantastic time.
Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah.
So maybe when you guys get to come to US, play a festival, hopefully it's, in the mud maybe, and just have people throw around. And, there's always going to drown the mud. There's going to be pool noodles abound.
Yeah.
Hell yes, mate.
Hell yeah.
Nobody's gonna drown.
Nope, no one's gonna drown. Not even down the drain. If you guys play with drain, I don't know. You never know what might happen. But guys, I want to thank you for taking time to come to the podcast. I really appreciate it. We're gonna close this episode out with 3 things. So first things first, when it comes to Throatcut and the brand new album Resilience coming out on July 18th, you're gonna want to stay in the know with them for more new music, for shows, for anything that comes up. So you're gonna go to the description of the podcast where it says find Throatcut online. Links, labels for everything are gonna be there. Social media, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, where you can go and support the band, where you can get some merch, all that good kind of stuff, where you can find them playing shows in your area either now or upcoming in the future. So I'm doing all the hard work. All you gotta do is click the link and go. So don't let us down. Please don't. That'd be a bad idea if you did. Now it's time for number 2. Guys, whenever guests on the podcast, I enjoy the podcast, I tend to make a certain promise as a way to say thank you. I appreciate you taking the time, and I wish to continue to support the band in the future. And this is how I do it. It's not a promise of if, it's a promise of when, because it implies this will happen. We just don't have a day or time set. But when I get to see you perform live for the first time, I will come and find you. I will come and say hi to you. I'll probably have a bunch of pool noodles with me, but that's not the real promise. The actual promise is first round's on me.
Let's go.
Yes.
I mean, we might have to drink.
Like to hear.
I mean, we might have to drink them out of a pool noodle just for the hell of it.
That's fun. That's fun.
It'll be one hell of a story. And now it's time for number 3. I cannot end this episode by saying goodbye. That is way too final. This was fantastic. I made you guys a promise. I'm going to keep good on that promise. And I know there's going to be more music coming out from you guys in the future. And I got to have you guys back for it once again. So this can't be goodbye. This has to be.
Hell yes, mate.
I'll see you later.
See you later.
Thank you so much for having us,
Thank
dude.
you.
Well, folks, that's my interview with the band Throatcut. Now it's time for Kevin's final thought. And man, I love the pissed off nature of this album. It took this idea of what's all going on in the world, what's all angry about it, and just fully fleshed it out. And the reason it was able to be fully fleshed out was because of the way that Throatcut ended up working on this record. Not only was the chemistry there to allow the guys to be able to be this pissed off, but what they also did on this record, what really stood out was they took this idea of let's maximize out on this pissed offness. When we write this, let's write this right when we're feeling that. Let's not let that go to waste. Because like we said in the episode, when you have a feeling and when you want to dive deep into it, you can dive the deepest when you're automatically in that feeling, when you're already feeling it and you're just able to naturally dig deeper. If you have to artificially create that pissed off feeling, like if you're sitting out on a lake and just looking out and just relaxing and you're trying to figure out what song to write about to be pissed off, you're not able to dive as deep into that mindset. However, if you're just like absolutely aggressive and just angry and just feeling that naturally, now dive deeper into it. See what you can create off of a song. See what you can create off of the sound, because it's going to become a lot more natural. It's going to come across a lot more authentic, and you're able to explore that so much more, not only from a stylistic side and a mental side, but also a sonic side as well, which really came forward here. And I think the song Snake Eater, which is my favorite on the record, really amplifies that. So I want to thank Lukas and Eugen for coming to the podcast today. When it comes to finding Throatcut online, go straight to the podcast. Links, labels for everything are going to be down there. So go and enjoy, because this album is going to smack, and they're going to be coming to the US sooner than you think. Also, be sure to follow along with the Chord Progression Podcast. Links to the podcast below, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Be sure to hit subscribe right down here on YouTube. Hit the follow or subscribe button on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Hit the like button on these episodes to help push it in the algorithm. This is a great album. Get ready for it. So that's going to be for me. Thank you for listening to the Chord Progression Podcast. My name is Kevin, and you guys know how I end every single episode. Big, healthy, and hearty. See ya. Yeah.